And hello, joined by Laura right now. I want to let everyone know she's a little under the weather, so she might cough a little bit, but she's taken the time to join us here. Really appreciate it. You're in Grand Rapids. Thank you so much. I hope you're going to feel better.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to be here.
So you sent me a video yesterday from a church. This was a food giveaway or a food drive they had.
Correct. It was a food giveaway at Church of the Servant. It was off of a street called Burton in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a city I grew up in. And I was shocked by the amount of cars.
Yeah, lots of cars there. And I know some people online were like, oh, those are nice cars. Those people don't need food. But we shouldn't judge people, right? Because we don't know what's going on we don't really, and I say this to everyone, we don't really know what's going on with people. We don't know what's going on in their life.
Yes, I was going to say, Dave, that I did get some comments similar to that. And one of the things I was going to say was that some of these people came using their relative's car. And because it was a drive-up food giveaway, they were getting food for their sick relatives or relatives that are living with them or other family members who are struggling.
Yeah, you never know. And if someone has
to judge.
No, and if someone has a car payment and they lost their job, they're still stuck maybe in a payment for. My dad told me a long time ago, you really can't judge because just because you can still be in a house and have a car and not being able to make ends meet. And that leads me to ask you, what are you seeing out there? Your friends or people in your life, are people struggling? Is the economy tough for some people, or even you? Is it a little tough?
It absolutely has changed. I'm told that, and I think this is actually conservative, that food prices have gone up, I don't know, 40% or something. And my husband has to work 56 hours now often just so that we can save our money. And what a concept, saving our money as well. And people are living paycheck to paycheck, but we're good with our money. We pay our bills on time. Yeah. And how is it that both of us are working and he has to work overtime? And every time we go to the grocery, for example, which is a basic need to go to the grocery, prices are just skyrocketed. And I hear people talking in the grocery line, even they're like, I can't even afford meat anymore, and everyone is saying it. And so I know I'm not alone.
No, you're not alone. And that's the thing. You still, I know the president has said no tax increases or whatever, but inflation is a tax because you're paying more.
Right. Definitely. Inflation is a tax.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Yeah, it's a tax. You're paying more. I remember I was talking to you earlier today. I went to get fast food and I shouldn't have done it because it's not healthy, but it was like $30 for 4 of us. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous.
Correct. Yep. It's really, really, I'm very surprised if I see somebody go out to eat, how they can afford it, because I can't.
No.
And I don't want to pay for that because I want to save my money.
Well, I
can't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing I didn't realize. And while I'm talking, if you want to get a drink, you can. I realized that there's a lot of people that can pay the bills, but a lot of people, like when I was growing up, I'm one of 6. My mom and dad, they always tried saving money for a rainy day. But now if people are paying the bills and making ends meet, they're not saving as much. And you sound like you're someone that likes saving, but you're probably not able to save as much as you were before.
We're not. And we are always thinking about the next week, the next amount of money that we're going to pay for food. And I mean, we enjoy life, but it's really the basic, when you have trouble affording the basic needs, then other people are having trouble. And it makes sense now why I'm seeing so many more cars or so many more people in line. College students now go to all the food pantries, and of course they're struggling. I don't even know how people afford that.
The picture I have on the screen, I just put it up here. This is the Tabernacle Church in Grand Rapids. This was on
Correct.
Friday. 25 cents for a piece of clothing. So you had a
Yep.
long line of people.
We did, Dave, and we were in line actually a half an hour before it opened. And it was really, really special because I just saw and got to meet some really special people there that wanted to, you had to bring your own bag, and they were there. And this church does it twice a year. They just collect all year for 6 months, as much clothing as they can for all ages, toys, everything. And then they open it to the public. And they let like probably 10 families in every 2 minutes or so.
Okay.
And it's just so organized. And there were so many people there. And that was just like half the amount of what was actually there that were already inside.
Is it true? And I didn't know this. I have, relatives and they like going to Goodwill or certain thrift stores. And you brought it to my attention. The prices at even thrift stores are going up.
They're going up. Yep.
I had no idea.
Yep, they are. And for example, I go as well. I love going, but you have to be careful. You really do. And like if you want to get a nice cardigan sweater or something, it's $10 to $12 or $8. Now, if you think about it, that's like maybe a half hour worth of work. So you just have to be really, really careful how you budget your money, even at a thrift store. But yes, it's all getting raised up. And so, Goodwill is another one.
Yeah, that's a surprise, because I think a lot of people think they wouldn't raise prices because they're trying to help people, but they're getting hit too, apparently. That was a total shock to me. And then other people were saying online, yeah, their prices are going up.
Yep. And I'm glad I wasn't the only one saying that, because I kind of felt like, well, is this in my mind?
No.
But I have a couple favorites that I go to, and my husband often says, no more. Don't go there anymore, because it affects your budget. And so you're almost better off going to like a clearance rack at TJ Maxx or something. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. What else are you seeing out there? And you're on the west side of the state in Grand Rapids. I'm over in Saginaw County, Michigan.
Okay.
Is your electric bills, all that's still up there, right? I mean, you're still paying it's just tough. I mean,
wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, for example, the Biden administration will go on camera and say, we're doing better, the economy's better, but do you know a lot of people that are doing better?
I know no one that's doing better. I know, all I know is I know that the stress level has gotten worse. I know that the mental health arena has gotten worse. It's really scary, actually, what I'm seeing. But again, I always look at the amount of people that are in line for these food pantries, and I'll be going to another one on Monday. And I love getting to know people and finding out their stories. And I can tell you for a fact that it is really sad. And you can enjoy cooking low budget meals, Dave. That's fun. But when you feel like you have to and you're forced to, that's really sad. Okay, because I enjoy cooking and I enjoy being hospitable to people. And I'm a Christian. I love, inviting people over for dinner. But when you have to kind of sacrifice those things and not be able to do that anymore because you're afraid it's going to hurt your budget, you just start to feel a little sad. And so I'm going to keep doing it because I feel called to. But you think to yourself, okay, so what does a single mother do, or single father that has 3 kids? He doesn't have time, or she doesn't have time to cook those low budget meals. I have someone that helps me, but my heart goes out to them.
So I think they call there's people, the working poor. You don't have to be homeless to be in a situation. There's people that are barely making a mortgage and barely making ends meet. And that's probably what you're dealing. A lot of people in those cars, if they lose if something happens to them, they could lose their home in a month or two. It could be gone.
Yeah, I don't doubt that there are millions of people that are on the cusp of that, or that people are working two jobs, or that are working overtime and not having a quality of life that they used to. And I'm definitely not saying, I mean, I'm definitely saying that we need to be grateful for what we have.
Yeah.
It's really true. But I think if you are someone from another country and you come here and you think it's going to be easy to live here right now, you're sadly mistaken, because times have changed and it's very sad.
Yeah, and didn't you say that your husband is working more than 40 hours a week to help
He's working,
supplement to save and so forth?
correct. He's working about 56 hours a week. And
Wow.
he really feels called to do the job he does. And he works hard. He gets up at 5:30 in the morning and will come home sometimes at 9:30 or 10.
Wow.
And he's a med tech, but he needs to do it. I'm a
Yeah.
caregiver, but he needs to do it because he wants to make sure that we're ahead of the stress level. And I appreciate that. I respect that. And when I can get extra hours, I also do the same thing, because if there's any emergency, and I'm foreseeing that there could be, because I'm not, obviously the prices are not going to get lower. They're not going to all of a
No.
sudden say, hey, happy birthday. We're going to lower your prices forever. No, they're only going to get higher. So we're going to have to get ready for that.
Yeah, that's sad. What I don't know. I was going to say, what can turn this around? I mean, people are hoping that maybe a different candidate can turn it around, but there's a lot I don't know what. I guess we just have to hold on for the ride, because there's going to be it's going to be a very, very interesting year. I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, you know, it's also, I think we need to find out, I think if people are struggling financially with food or any basic necessity, I really think that we all need to ask for help and not be afraid. I've learned going to a food pantry myself, having some extra guests living with me right now, some immigrants that are legal that we're helping. I've decided to go to help them out. I am learning that we all need each other and we need to brainstorm and just,
Yeah.
and I applaud any church that is doing any food pantry, because it is making a difference. And it is sometimes very hard to ask for help. Even though somebody may act like they're really tough and they don't need help, it is a blessing to get food and to do something with it. And it's so, I just think, I think if everyone just takes part in voting, yes, but also just accesses some of the resources, and hopefully somebody will take notice that times are hard, and voting
So
the right people. Yes.
so educate people. Talking, what we're doing right now is what
Yes.
needs to be done. Talking about it, getting the word out.
Mm-hmm. Getting the
Okay.
word out. And another thing is helping our neighbors, or I don't know, I am involved with local politics. I just like to help. I like to volunteer if I have time, and just kind of find out what their needs are and what's going on in the state of Michigan, because there's some very loving people in Michigan that are struggling that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
Just and I think especially after COVID, we just lost the sense of community, and people aren't realizing that the ramifications of what happened, the shutdown, are still so painful.
They are.
And
So you're saying check on your neighbors. If you don't
yep,
know if there's an elderly person living down the street and you never hear from them, just we need to be
yep,
like I remember growing up, everyone in the neighborhood would talk to each other. My mom and dad would talk to the neighbors. They'd walk over there, but
yep.
you don't see a lot of that now.
You don't. And I just had my a niece that's living with me. I just had her bring over some muffins to my neighbor, because I knew that, and we don't really know this neighbor well, but I just had her bring over some muffins because I knew that she was having her grandkids stay with her for a week. And I thought, if I can just do something, if we can just do something little to help each other out, it'll just make a difference. And I just think, if we could do more of that and just find out the needs of what's happening. But I think just getting involved too, like getting involved with your local political party and seeing how you can help, instead of being, it's a fact that things are hard. And I'm not going to stop saying it, because it's changed a lot in the last three some years. And I've seen it everywhere I go. And I don't know about the supply chain thing, but it's really another issue I'm noticing is there's something weird about that. It seems like every store is running out of a lot of things, and that's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Are you seeing that it's affecting people that it wasn't 4 years ago or 3 years ago? Are there new people that are hurting?
Yes, there are. And I'm noticing that when someone will go, one of the things I ask a lot is, where do you go grocery shopping? Yeah. And there are people that will go to like an Aldi's, and they'll go to Costco, and then they'll go to another grocery store in one day instead of going to just one, because they know that certain produce is cheaper in this place or that place. Okay. And I just think people just aren't eating the way that they used to either. I think they're just not, I don't think they're always eating as healthy, but they're not eating as much. They're more worried. There's more stress. Yeah,
the stress actually adds a bit. Well, I want to let you go. You're able to make it through the interview. I appreciate it. You're not feeling well, but you need to rest now.
Dave, thanks a lot.